Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you guys for tuning in to another showcase of The Lab. We're going to have fun in here. We have a special guest that's in the live virtually in the studio today. I'll introduce him in a minute. He's no stranger to The Lab, as it's titled above. He's been here before. He's very supportive. He's doing a bunch of wonderful things here in the community, and we will introduce him here in a minute. But I got to put some housekeeping rules out there, okay? This is going to be an interactive live, all right? So do understand that by the time that you post something and the time that we see it, maybe 5 to 10 seconds have already transpired, and we may be on to another topic, but we will acknowledge your comments. We will answer your questions, whether it's live or whether it's during the replay, okay? But first and foremost, it's your motivational speaker, your empowerment coach, your author, and your favorite baker's favorite baker, Coach Clee, coming at you. And I appreciate you guys tuning in. I know that we're on a Friday for most of us. If you're watching it live, it may be some other day if you're watching the replay, but I need to know what the energy levels are. I need to know what the energy levels are like. So if you had a good day today, I need you to put a 1 in the comment section. Put a 1 in the comment section if you had a good day today. And those of you that watch the lab, I know that I don't believe in bad days. I like to call them character building days because you can learn from them. You can grow from them. They're necessary for growth. They make you appreciate the outstanding days that much more better. So if you had a quote unquote bad day or a character building day, I need you to put a 2 in the comment section. Looks like a peace sign. Put a 2 in the comment section if you had a terrible day, or I'm sorry, a character building day. Put a 2 in the comment section if you had a character building day. And if you had the kind of day that I had, because I'm looking forward to this live, I'm looking forward to things that's going on. I'm looking forward to, I enjoy doing this. I know we kind of got the new setup going on. There's a reason for that, and I'll explain that momentarily. But if you had an outstanding day, I need to put a 0 in that chumpy. Put a 0 in the comment section if you had an outstanding day. Put a 0 in the comment section if you had an outstanding day. It's kind of like this is a bubble, and you're right there in the middle of that bubble, and nothing can penetrate that bubble. I'm gonna put a 0 in the comment section. I see Shayla had a 2, 1, and 0. Wow, man, I'm glad she's having an outstanding day now. It's because of me. That's why. I already know. Let me go ahead. Yep, there we go. Yep, she just did all of them. But this is what happens when I show up. I've changed the day. I changed the day. If you want to shout out where you're from, make sure you put your name and where you're from in the comment section, and you'll get that shout out that you're looking for, that you're deserving of. If you have a question, make sure you post your question in the comment section as well. She put a bunch of emojis up there. Look at that. Very interactive, very interactively special too. There we go. And as you see it going below, we're live on Facebook. You can see me on the Coach Clee page that most of you are on right now. I can see comments from there. We're live on the YouTube page under the name Coach Clee as well. If you haven't already subscribed to either one of those, make sure you subscribe to that and hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. And we're also going live from the Clark Tent page, which I cannot see comments, at least on here in front of me. I see Junior Vegas watching. Thank you for tuning in from Clark Tent. That's also on the Facebook page. Make sure that you guys hit the like button and subscribe to those pages as well. Wow, I just saw something weird in the back office. Shayla's doing something real crazy. I'm not even going to mention what it was. But you see it scrolling below. The website, workwithclee.com. And on that website, you're going to see a bunch of wonderful things. First and foremost, you're going to see March 4th is the first book I wrote a couple years ago. It's a motivational empowerment book on helping you find your own breakthrough. We talk about toxic people, toxic situations. We talk about going to get your breakthrough, having the courage and taking care of yourself. That's on the website. That can be also purchased on Amazon. Jason Brown, Herb Thompson, and myself, No Shade, All Light. We wrote 25 of our favorite quotes and what they mean to us. So it's over 100 quotes in this book with meaning. That's also on the website. That can be purchased on Amazon as well. Hashtag Grudge came out June of last year. It's tough times call for tough measures, and this is a good book for it because we talk about mistakes, we talk about holding on to grudges, we talk about anger. Les Brown said it best. Holding on to a grudge is like holding on to a hot piece of coal and expecting the person that you're angry with to feel the effects when in reality, you just need to let that thing go and start the healing process. We discussed that, and that's on the website as well and Amazon. And last but definitely not least, the video that you just saw highlighting past guests on the show and this book, The Lab. This book is the latest book. It just dropped this year. I'm very proud of this book. Cover looks good. I'm not just saying that because I'm on there. Like Brad Crow actually did the cover. He put a lot of work into it. It looks really good. The interior of the book, the setup looks real nice. And our guest, Gary Grant, who's on page 19. He's in chapter 7 of the book as well. So make sure you guys check that out. Yep, you see that? Bam, he's in the book. So you can say, hey, Mom, I'm in the book. And it's very true. That's also on the website, and that's also on Amazon too. All right. So make sure you guys check that out. Not right now, but when you get the moment, make sure you guys check that out. So right now, I need you to hit the like button, and I'm going to move on to Shayla's showcase. Shayla, you up? You ready? Let me go ahead and get this ready because she was making faces back in the other room. So let me go ahead and see. How you doing, Shayla? Shayla, how you doing today?
I am better. It's been a rough week.
Has it been a rough week? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Started with June 13th.
Wow, that should be a national update itself for other reasons. But okay. So, you ready to bring us Shayla's showcase?
I am. First, I want to talk about that crazy list. Some of you that are personal friends with Coach Klee, if you saw that crazy birthday list that he put out there, that was insane. But all I can say is my birthday is in September, so wait till you guys see my list. I'll make sure I post it, tag him. I'll tag him and Coach Klee, so both of his names, so that everybody can see my birthday list. Anyway, moving on, Shayla's showcase. So I will start with our first sponsor. Thank you as always to our sponsors. Without you, this show would definitely not be possible. So we always appreciate the support. A lot of these individuals that are now sponsors were former guests. We will make sure we have all the contact information at the top of this live once we are finished here today. First one we'll talk about is the Pharr Agency. If you're somebody who avoids applying for credit or you have late payments, collections, or charge-offs, there may be a solution for you. Tiki Pharr Walker with the Pharr Agency. She's board certified and can assist you with restoring your credit. She can even help you get started with restoring your credit on your own. You can contact Tiki at thepharragency.com or www.thepharragency.com, or on Instagram and Facebook at the Pharr Agency, or simply give them a call for a consultation at 877-297-9707. Moving on to our next sponsor, we have Damon Buxton, owner of D2 Training Solutions. At D2 Training Solutions, they use the latest in innovating and cutting-edge technology to create a unique training experience for the end user. At D2 Training Solutions, they take boring out of training and allow for fun, interactive training that can be done at the user's pace. You can contact Damon Buxton with D2 Training Solutions at d2trainingsolutionsllc.com. Again, we'll have all that information at the top of this live. Then we have, moving on, the Harrisburg Area YMCA Camp Curtin branch. They offer a variety of services and programs for the community. They have a youth and teen center, computer lab, and wellness center that you can utilize at an affordable price that works for your household. They offer seasonal programs to include summer camps, winter basketball leagues, lacrosse, and flag football. In addition to these programs, their doors are always open for the youth in the community. They can use the gym, library, and computer lab for summer and after school work. Cornerstone in Uptown Harrisburg is the newest venture that the Y is working on. The intention is to remove blighted vacant lots to reduce crime and create affordable housing for homeowners and more. For more information about their programs and offerings, check out their website at ymcaharrisburg.org. I do want to give a special shout out, as I always do, to Jay Moore, because we appreciate you keeping us on our toes and making sure we are sending you all the information you need to make sure the website is up to date. And special shout out to all the fathers out there. I do want to say happy Father's Day, because I've seen a lot of posts that Father's Day does not get the same love as Mother's Day. Don't know if I agree with that, but happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. We really do appreciate all of you. Now back to Coach Klee. I can't hear you if I'm supposed to hear you.
Good job. Thank you very much. You're absolutely right. I was muted. Thank you for letting me know that. I appreciate that. You did a wonderful job. Anything else that you would like to say before you exit?
Nope. Just happy Father's Day to you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We've talked long enough. We got a special guest in the lab. He's here right now. He's waiting to come on the screen. You see his name below. And he does a lot of wonderful things here in the community and locally here. He's no stranger to the show. He's a husband. He's an entrepreneur. He's the owner of Relax and Ride in Carlisle, and he discussed that, and we'll be discussing that again here on the show. He's a philanthropist, ladies and gentlemen. Each weekend, he goes to a different area, and he's known as the Community Milkman, and I don't want to give it all away, so I'm not going to put it in the intro. I'll let him discuss it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, get your fingers together, hit the like button. I want to introduce Gary Grant. Gary, you there? Uh-oh, let me unmute. There we go. Gary, I can hear you now. Gary, how's it going today?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Wonderful,
Good to be
wonderful.
back on here.
Yeah, give him some hearts, give him some thumbs up, ladies and gentlemen. Since we're not in the actual studio, I can't ask for a round of applause. But Gary, thank you for coming to the lab. I know you're no stranger to the lab, and I know you're a supporter of the lab. And I know you haven't actually physically got a copy of the book that you're highlighted in, and we got to make sure that happens just so you can enjoy your section. Again, that chapter 7 on page 19, so that you know exactly where to go when you get yours.
Okay. Thanks,
How you doing today? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So, my name's Gary Grant. I am an entrepreneur. I started my business in 2013 under the original name, which is Personal Care Transport. We started transporting commercial truck drivers in the Carlisle area. And then in 2017, I started Relax and Ride to offer services for people who are going to airports from Harrisburg, Carlisle, and in this community to go to BWI, Dulles, JFK, Harrisburg Airport, Ronald Reagan National Airport. So that's what we do on a daily basis. That's part of my business, what I do.
Okay. All right. Yep. And I know we discussed that. And I know, so I'm out of my element. We already talked about that. Transitioning from one version of the lab, we're in the transition point to the new version of the lab. So I got this weird background going on. So I apologize for how weird things look, but we're going to move past that. Gary's been here. He's been, again, like I say, very supportive. How did you started your business a few years ago, and then things were taking off, things were going in one direction, and then the pandemic hit. And then the pandemic kind of, I remember we were supposed, myself and Shayla, we were, I think, a week or 2 weeks away from attending an event that you were a part of in Carlisle. And then the pandemic hit, and that shut everything down. That shut a lot of things down, and eventually shut your business down. What's it like? What was it like to actually go through the pandemic itself?
So the pandemic really kind of hurt us in terms of travel, because that's our main source of income. So nobody was traveling, and it wasn't a great experience for me, and trying to move my business forward. I felt like 2019 we had a really good year, and that we were really about to have a breakout year, and then the pandemic arrived. And so I kind of morphed into something else, because I felt like there's something God had something for me to do to not only make myself a better person, but also give back in the community.
Right. And now that we're coming out of the pandemic, how has business picked up, and where do you see it moving toward?
Well, we really have our trips have gone up. We've this month we have about 30 trips to the airport.
Okay.
And it's progressively growing each month. So I can definitely see a trend moving as people are moving towards the airports. I remember last year during the pandemic, I went to the airport, there was nobody there.
Right.
And oftentimes, even going to Harrisburg Airport, there's 2 lines of cars and lots of people waiting to get picked up and dropped off. So people are starting to travel now. I think people are ready to get back to the new normal. I don't want to call it normal, but I think people are ready to go back to traveling.
Gotcha. And so, how many in your fleet? How many vehicles do you have with operational drivers that are ready to go?
So we have 2 Honda Odysseys and a 12-passenger van and a travel trailer to transport groups of up to 11 people.
Okay.
Like today, I took 6 people that had like 10 big luggage. So I took my trailer from Harrisburg to BWI. That was early in the morning. So we can schedule people on our website. So that's how we coordinate our trips.
Okay.
And once we have a full day, we kind of shut it down because we don't want to overbook and underdeliver for our services. So a lot of times we're, with such a smaller fleet, we have to be moving back and forth. And a lot of times what we do is we track the flights for families so that we know if they're going to come. So we're not like waiting down at the airport. If the flights are 6-7 hours late, we don't have to. It also is a financial thing as well. I don't want a driver sitting down at an airport for 6 hours.
Right. And
waiting. I mean, it's just not economically a good thing for us to do.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, the BWI and like this morning we was down in Southwest. They're really busy down there at Southwest because they allow you to carry 2 big bags and they don't charge you for it. So a lot of people like using Southwest.
Gotcha.
So we go down there a lot.
Okay. And what kind of service, if anyone was looking for transportation and would hire your company, what kind of services would they be guaranteed to get from you?
So our service, what we do is we provide a door-to-door service from your home directly to the airport. And when you arrive back at the airport, we transport you right back to your home. One of the benefits of what we do is when you go on our website and you make a secure reservation, you're guaranteed that you're going to get a phone call back as soon as you make that reservation. From the time you make the reservation, we walk you through 24 hours before your trip. You're getting a phone call from the driver, letting you know that, hey, Clee, we're here. We're going to be picking you up tomorrow at 5 o'clock in the morning or whatever time. We guarantee you that we get you to the airport for an international flight 3 hours ahead of time. And we also guarantee you, even if you have a domestic flight anywhere, with the exception of Harrisburg, but we get you there 2 hours ahead of time. Our service is really good for people who, if you've traveled a long day and you're traveling back to the Harrisburg area, it's just nice to have somebody to drive you back to your door, and you don't have to worry about driving through traffic and it's 11 o'clock at night or it's 4 o'clock in the morning. It doesn't matter what time, as long as you schedule the trip, I organize it and I set you up with a driver. It could be myself or three other drivers that we have working for us.
Gotcha. And I do understand from personal experience how convenient that is. Because I remember I took a trip to I flew out from BWI to Orlando. I stayed in Orlando for a little while. Then I drove to Miami, which is a few hours away. I stayed in Miami for a little while again. And the day I had to return, I remember driving back from Miami to Orlando, flying from Orlando to Baltimore. And by the time I got back, I had to drive from Baltimore back to Harrisburg. And just from that whole transition, I mean, it was a fun vacation, but when I got to BWI, I was just like, I'm done. I just want to be home. I still have to drive a little bit further to get where I'm going. And I was already exhausted by then. So to have someone meet you at the airport and you just load up your luggage and then get to kick back and relax all the way home to your front door, that's a benefit. That's a benefit in itself. Time is a commodity, and that's a beautiful one to have.
Yeah, and especially, like people that travel to Europe or just on a long day, like you just explained. We're there waiting for you. we sent when we get down there, we're waiting in the cell phone lot. Or a lot of times, what I do is once I get there and I know the plane's landed and somebody doesn't have like just a carry on, I'll send you a picture of the location, my van, to your cell phone. So you're not running around looking for us. You're like, well, where are you?
Right.
You know, I try and make it as easy as possible to transport people with the less, so that they're not like, well, now I can't find this guy. No, we try and make it easy. You know what van you're going in, and the logo that you see behind me is what's on the side of our van. So it's easy to identify. There's not many logos that look like ours, and we have white vans, so they're easy to identify.
Gotcha. So if I wanted to schedule a trip, how would I get in contact with you to go ahead and make that happen?
So if you wanted to schedule a trip, you would go on relaxandridecarlisle.com, and the "and" is spelled out AND, and then you would make a secure reservation there. That would come straight to me, and then what I would generally do is I will call you right back, and clarify your reservation to make sure we have the right flight numbers because sometimes in your rush, sometimes you could input the wrong phone number, the wrong address, which it has happened. But I think what I do, that corners off the problems when you just go over the reservation. It sounds repetitive, but sometimes if you have one wrong number in your phone number and the person's trying to call you, now there's a problem.
Yeah, that turns into a big deal.
So, and then you're required to put your email in. So we have a number of ways where we can contact you. So it's not just the one phone number. When you're on your vacation, a lot of times what we'll do is we'll try and text you or send you an email to let you know the day before you're coming back that we'll be there to pick you up. So you're not wondering, hey, is my ride going to be there? One of the things I think that separates us as a business is that you don't have to worry about, like, for Uber and Lyft trying to ping in on an app to see if there's a car available to take you. A lot of it with the luggage, we have bigger vans. We just got a brand new 2022 Honda Odyssey. We do have an older model van as well. But it's a very good, reliable van. But the main thing is when you're transporting people to the airports is being able to handle the luggage. A lot of times, you'll get a service and, even the Uber, you might get, they might be stuffing your bags in their trunk and it might not be enough room. So one thing you don't have to worry about is we have enough luggage space for because we have a trailer. If we had 10 people, we can get a lot of bags in the back of that trailer. Plus we have a lot of room in the last row. We could put a lot of bags in there. And you have a nice, comfortable ride to the airport. So you're not like, as a group, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. So, and not that we're going to kind of change gears a little bit to talk about something very new, a project of yours that you've been doing as a philanthropist, giving back to the community. First, before I lay the foundation, or before you start talking about how experienced are you in giving back to the community? I know you've volunteered often, you've participated in other programs, but can you share a little bit of information with us on some of your experience levels?
So in one of my first jobs when I was a teacher, I did go to Honduras and we built a church. So I did do that. When I was a child, my grandmother, we always went to the church when we grew up in the Bronx in the summertime. And we went to church and we helped with giving out food. And back then there was government was giving out a lot of government cheese. I don't know if you remember that, when they were giving those 5-pound blocks of cheese.
Those door stoppers, those chalk blocks.
Yeah. So we, I did a lot of that, helping move the cheese and, just different stuff like that. So I did come from a, my grandmother always emphasized that, you should always help out and give back where you can. So I did a lot of that when I was, when we were, well, we never had a choice. Our grandmother was like, "You're going to church." You're a little kid, you're like running around.
Right.
So you had to go. So it was me and my cousins. We had to go to church and, help grandma with the, picking stuff up and just helping out.
Gotcha. So the foundation that your grandma has laid for you in your youth and earlier in your life has kind of paved the way for things that you're doing now. Now you're dubbed the Community Milkman. I believe that I've seen a few T-shirts out there. I see you have gone live on Sunday mornings at different locations in the Dauphin County area, and I think you announce your locations a week before sometimes, or the day before. I know I don't want to steal your thunder, but can you explain how and why you are the Community Milkman and exactly what you do?
So this is another thing that like that kind of came out of the pandemic. I started giving milk out in Carlisle probably March or April of the pandemic. Mm-hmm. And I just was doing it every week and then just donating milk from the business. And we did it, probably every week. And then in November, we kind of stopped doing it after a while. And then I restarted again. And I wanted to I restarted it again in Harrisburg. Mm-hmm. And so I started doing it in Harrisburg on 15th and Vernon. And then I started at the baseball field in Hall Manor. Okay. And then we started at Downey Elementary over in the P-Funk in Harrisburg. Mm-hmm. And so what that came out of is just, and I'd be remiss if I didn't say Carlos Lugero, my friend, helps me with this every single week. I mean, at 7:00 in the morning, we're out there, and my friend Brent, he also helps out he actually donates stuff to us. It's not a nonprofit, it's nothing. It's just me just giving back to the community because I feel like, it's something important for me. And I felt like how I could connect to the community was by just giving back. And I feel like milk is an important staple in people's diets. And a lot of kids like milk for cereal. Mm-hmm. I mean, we've added different things. We had, fresh vegetables donated by Claire's Orchard. Okay. So we've kind of morphed into a lot of different things that we do. Get people call and donate stuff to us all the time. Mm-hmm. So people have purchased T-shirts, sweatshirts, and I just used the money and give, just to buy milk or whatever we need, mm-hmm. And give it back to the community. And the beautiful thing about what this is, I haven't met anybody. I don't know anybody that has taken the milk. I see people occasionally, but the vast majority, I don't know who's getting this stuff. And to me, that's the beauty of it, because you don't have to, for me, I think that giving back, sometimes you don't even need to know who's getting it. Who cares? I mean, it's just being served by the community. And, I just like going from place to place. And, it's just amazing the love that people are shown, and mm-hmm. and they're just grateful, and as a business owner, I feel like this is really, really impactful in what I do as a business owner in terms of like, instead of like donating, and I'm not saying that donating to companies or whoever is great, but mm-hmm. like to me, I feel like I'm directly impacting the community and that, I'm surrounded by. And, I'm starting actually this weekend, I'm starting back in Carlisle. Okay. And we're going to keep the same schedule with Carlisle, with Harrisburg, but then we're going to go back. We're going to do like every 3 weeks in Carlisle, and I'm going to kind of bump that up eventually as the summer goes along. But I'm just really looking forward to just growing it. If I could get some help to do it, it'd be great. But me and Carlos, we do what we can do in Harrisburg. I mean, he lives in Harrisburg, so I just drive. If I have a trip on a Sunday, Carlos will actually do everything. He gets the milk from Carnes, puts it out there, or we'll meet on Saturday. I'll give him whatever the stuff Brent gives me or other stuff. Sometimes I got stuff from Community Cares. So it's just giving back. And, what I want people to learn from this is just start where you're at. It doesn't matter where you are. Just start where you're at. Whatever you can do to give back to the community.
Right. Paying it forward is a big deal, and you're proving it through your actions. Paying it forward is having an open heart and giving back to anyone, because I know at any time in our life, all of us have been at a level where we needed assistance at some level, needed a hand up, and things, miracles, people like yourself and the things that you're doing are miracles in the works, and they've got you through the moment or the situation. So it's very necessary. I've seen you go live, and I see you're out there very early in the morning, and you're posting those bags. And you're showing them out there, and I know that's like you might as well say that's a full-time job in itself.
Let me tell you something. There's a lot of prep that goes into that. Like on a Saturday, a lot of times, like when people give us stuff, like I get a lot of stuff from Community Care sometimes, and the guy Carl calls me and he's like, Gary, I got XYZ stuff. And I show up and I got a whole van full of stuff. The other day, Beth Kemp from Community Cares called me. She says, Gary, I got a truckload of watermelons. And I'm like, watermelons? So I went over and I filled my whole van up. I put watermelons out in Carlisle and I brought them to Harrisburg. I mean, my whole van, I must have had about 200 watermelons, and I left them out there both at 15th and Vernon. We were at Hall Manor, and I'm like, we got to go over here and drop these off. So we just left them on the fences. They didn't get milk that day, but they got some seedless watermelons. So, the blessing is being passed forward.
I gotcha. Keep it up. So let me ask you, if there's a company out there that's willing to donate, how would they get in contact with you? Is it the same website?
They can go on. We have a page called Communitymilkman page on Facebook, or they can send me a message to relaxandridecarlisle.com, and they can contact me there. We are looking for somebody. I do want to add a fruit and vegetable donation. So I'm looking for somebody who will donate to us some fruits and vegetables that we could put out with the milk. So we are looking for one supplier for that. And, like I said, all we ask is that you tell us when to come and get it, and we'll come get it, and we'll get it set up for Sunday. So if there's anybody out there that's willing to do some fruits and vegetables and donate to us, we'll take those as well.
Okay. And on the flip side of that, if there's anyone, you said you're looking for some help as well. What if someone would like to donate their time and assist with either packaging the products, picking up the products, or handing it out? How would you go about doing that?
Yeah. Again, we're always looking for people like to help with the donate, help packaging and stuff. So they can hit me on the Communitymilkman page on Facebook, or they can send me a message on relaxandridecarlisle.com. And like I said, I love doing this, and I do it every day. But sometimes, I need a break, and it's not like I don't want to do it. It's just sometimes I would, my whole thing was to do this so that we could help people to kind of embrace what we're doing and come out and help. Even if you are from the community and in the communities that we serve, and you want to come out and help us, come out and help. We're out there, me and Carlos, we don't mess around. No, once we get there, we're in there 10, 15 minutes and we're gone. So most of the time I go to the park with my dog. you see my dog on there sometimes, and we're straight to the part. So
you and Sadie.
What'd you say?
You and Sadie.
Me and Sadie. Ah, you know.
Yeah, I'm
so
good.
Yeah.
Mine.
I see you watching. I see you on the Sundays. You come on there, and you know, it's just, you know, and Clee, one of the things I could say is it's such a blessing to give back. That I love. Like Sunday mornings are like my favorite time of the week, because I know, like, even if I'm tired, and trust me, there's been Sunday mornings that I'm turning around, I'm like, oh my gosh. But I just love going out there and giving out the stuff, because, you know, I know somebody is getting some milk for their children or whatever, you know. And it's always gone. It's just crazy. It's always gone.
Good thing. So nothing goes away. And you put out, not only that, I mean, you put out healthy edibles, fruits and vegetables and things of the sort. I know you put out a couple snacks before as well. But I mean, getting things out in the community is very beneficial. And I know you do your best to make sure that it's healthy.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, and I know, like, the way I look at it is like this, right? So when you pay it forward, the people who can't give back to you or your company, other people will look at that and say, hey, look, I want to support a company that's supporting the community. And, you know, those are the things that I like to do. I mean, I think that my business model is more of giving first, then receiving later, you know?
Absolutely. And so that kind of segues me into my next question. What gives you the inspiration and the motivation to do? I know you've got your business and you've had other businesses also. You get back to the community and you attend community functions. What gives you the inspiration and motivation to keep moving forward? Because I know sometimes it can be stressing. I know sometimes people can get on your nerve, and sometimes you can get very tired, but you find a way to keep it going. And I know you want to give back to the community. I know you want to give back to the youth. I know you want to be a role model for the youth as well, and laying a foundation for others to succeed as well.
You know, one of the things that I, you know, have embraced in the last 8 years is, you know, one of my favorite motivational speakers, and you referred to him today, is Les Brown. And I love Les because I'm telling you, he was one of the guys that, him and Eric Thomas, like in the morning, I'll listen to those guys. Just, I'm in the shower and I just listen to them for like 10 or 15 minutes while I'm in the shower. And that they just get you pumped up and they get your day going, because, you know, I'm going to be honest, every day is not a 0 or 1. You know what I'm saying?
Do understand. Yes.
You're a 1, 2, and a 0, like all through the day. You know what I'm saying? And you just have to like redirect yourself back to, you know, where you need to be in terms of focus. And a lot of times I like to stay positive. I like to listen to, you know, I read a lot of this Fearless Soul on Facebook. They have a lot of these positive posts, and I repost them after I read them, because you like on my storyline, you'll see a lot of positive stuff on there, because, you know, even in your down moments, you know, you got to just keep staying positive, you know.
Keep moving, keep marching forth. Absolutely. Yeah. I remember the book that you shared with me on Audible by Grant Cardone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was a good and inspirational and influential book.
Which one was it?
I forget which one it was. Let me see if I can look it up here quick. I just got a new phone, so I'm not signed in right now.
Was it the Closer Survival Guide, or was it 10X? Which one?
One second. The Millionaire Booklet by Grant. How to Get Super Rich.
Oh yeah, the Millionaire Booklet. I love it.
Yep.
That's a good one. What'd you think?
I thought it was great. I listened to it twice. I love Audible for that reason, because especially and I know that you do this, especially when you're in the vehicle by yourself. You can turn the vehicle into a drive time studio very easily.
Yes.
Uptime University is what they call it. So you can actually, if you're going on a trip, a long trip, or just running errands, you listen to it, turn it on, listen to it, learn something, and then after I get done, I like to listen to it again immediately. Not again whenever I have the opportunity, because you know what it's about, but this time you pick up on the clicks and cues what you may have missed the first time around.
Yeah. Right now, I'm reading this book called The Closer's Survival Guide, right? And it's how to close in business in terms of like when you're going to do deals with people, like either B2B or even when you're trying to sell somebody something, right? So you just go into this whole. He tells you it goes right down, and I'm listening to. I'm actually going to present this to one of my groups on Tuesday that I belong to, and it's so critical that, like, you know, you have an agreement on paper when you're dealing with people for a contract, because, you know, trying to get their business, because a lot of times talking, it doesn't really. You could talk, but once people see things in writing, it makes so much of a difference. You know, people take you more serious when you have stuff written down.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
Yep.
So I'm on that right now. I'm every couple of days I'm trying to read a new book, trying to educate myself in this game called life. You know, I mean, it's it's a challenge, but you got to just keep positive, and you just got to keep positive. I mean, and I encourage everybody. You know, most people that I encounter, I say, hey, listen, the biggest challenge that you have in your life, just think about that one time, and take little chunks out of it and just keep moving forward, because eventually you'll get there. But it does take commitment and consistency. And, you know, do I fall? Yes, but I get right back up and I keep moving forward.
Exactly. And in this game called life, while you're trying to learn and keep growing and keep marching forth, like we like to say, if I could turn into Doc Brown and I could build a DeLorean and pretend this is 1985 and we hit 85 miles per hour and can go back in time, let's just say 10 years, and you can have an encounter with yourself 10 years ago. What kind of advice would you like to give yourself if you could have that face-to-face interaction?
Wow. I like that. Wow. Why did I waste so much time? You know, but I also embrace a lot of my experiences from my past, and bring them forward into my present, because I feel like every experience that we go through, it's God teaching us to be humble and teaching us that I have better things for you to come.
Okay.
So, you know, looking back, I mean, I feel like I'm constantly growing. I mean, I started my business and I felt like, you know, I didn't plateau at that, but then God said, wait a minute, I'm gonna slow your roll down. I'm gonna throw a pandemic in here for you. So now, what'd you say?
He threw an extra challenge your way. You thought you were playing checkers, and he said, we're playing chess. Now go ahead and line your pieces.
So then, after he threw the pandemic and we're playing chess, almost never checkmate, but it was like check. Now I need you to get better. How are you going to grow? How are you going to morph into this better version of Gary Grant? And, you know, this giving thing has really kind of moved me into that level. So now I'm waiting for the next thing to come. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, you know, the work and the giving is meshed. So like, I'm waiting for the volcano to just go off, because there's so many great things that are going to be coming ahead for me. And the lesson that every time you fall down, you can get back up. And Les says that, you know that. Les Brown says, every time you fall down, just keep getting back up.
Because if you get up, you can get up.
if you can get up. Come on, Clee, tell me. What does he say?
When life knocks you down, try and land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up.
Exactly. I love that, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm, like I said, those guys, I really enjoy listening to them. They're just like, even in your darkest moment, and you listen to Les or you listen to Eric, he's
Mm-hmm.
like I love Eric Thomas too. But I've been on Jim Rohn. You ever heard of him? I've been on him too.
Jim Rohn. I like him. His is very catchy.
Who, Jim Rohn?
Rohn, yeah.
Yeah, I've been on Jim Rohn for a couple weeks now. I like listening to him.
Mm-hmm.
And he talks about the winters and the seasons. I love that. You know,
life is about just like the seasons. Exactly.
You know, you got to be planting in the spring and the harvesting in the fall. If you don't plant in the spring, don't expect to harvest in the fall.
Exactly.
And he says this, I love this, what he says. He said, don't bring your seed to the marketplace. Don't bring your need to the marketplace. Bring your seed to the marketplace. Mm-hmm. I love that, man. Mm-hmm. You know, like, don't be going there saying, I need you to support my business. No. Where's your seed? Your seed mm-hmm. is, hey, I can pick you up at your home and drive you to an airport. Mm-hmm. So I have my seed. I'm bringing my seed to the marketplace. I'm bringing my milk to the marketplace. So that's my seed, you know, and after that, you know, I can't wait, you know, for the blessings that's going to become the business of myself, because of, you know, just being authentic, giving back to the community, and just being my true self. I feel like, you know, if anything this pandemic has taught me is like, you know what, Gary, you're where you're at. I mean, I hate to say this, but I've told Adrian, I said, listen, if it was time for me to go and God was ready for me to go, I feel like I've done everything, not every single thing, but I'm living my best life. I'm not living it on anybody's terms. I'm living it on my own terms. And I love that. That's what I love about this experience.
That's a good feeling to have. And hopefully, and Lord willing, that you're not going anytime soon, because you got blessings coming your way, and you still got more giving to do. Absolutely. And I like that you mentioned a lot of the online mentors that you listen to. They get you through daily battles, and just to learn, and just to become your self-actualized person, to become the better version of yourself. And speaking of that, if someone came up to you and they were an up-and-comer, and they were, let's say they're 12 years old right now, they never heard of you, they never heard of your companies, they never heard of the Communitymilkman or anything that you've done before, and they're listening to you and they're watching this live right now, and they're like, wow, I like Gary. He's pretty cool. He's a cool cat. He's pretty smooth. He's got his own business. I want to be just like him when I grow up. What kind of advice would you give him to get him started on the right path?
I think it's important that if you're a young person, I think it's important for you as a young person to be committed to the daily things that you're committed to. So if you're going to school, go to school, be on time, don't be late, do your homework, just be committed. If you're an athlete, be committed to it. Don't be late for practice, work hard. I mean, there's no shortcuts to success, or whatever you want to define as success. You have to really be committed to what you're doing. I mean, and a lot of times your success is not going to be seen on the outside. You got to do it from the inside out. And there's no ways around, you know, you're just not going to come around and say, oh, I got a $5 million business right now. It doesn't work like that. Or I'm not going to just show up and go to the NFL. You know, if you're not working diligently, I mean, you're not going to make it. I mean, it doesn't matter. You know, you could be a phenom, basketball, football, whatever. You're not going to make it, because you have to be committed to it. I mean, and and you have to be consistent. People, look at anybody who's successful, just thinking of like Micah Parsons from Harrisburg. I mean, just look how committed he was to the sport of playing football, and look how he listened. And everything I hear about him, he was a good listener, and he listened to his coaches. I mean,
coachable.
You got to be. It doesn't matter what you do; you have to be coachable in life. And even me, as as a 52-year-old male, I'm still listening to people who have been doing business for 25 years, let alone, me being. I'm just a baby in the business world. So, advice that I can get, anything I can get my hands on, I'm going to listen. But I'm also one of those persons that if I can get in front of people to talk and tell people stuff, I'm going to tell you, hey, look, you have to work hard. These are the things that you do. And I just like to talk too. If you noticed that, Clay.
We talked a few times. We met. Actually, the last time I think it was the last time we saw each other in person. That we had a interview or a meeting at Good Brothers Cafe, and in the process of that, we actually met. Shout out to Corey Singleton, past guest on the show. If it wasn't for that interaction, I would have never met him, and he would have never been on he was on, I believe, back in March or earlier in the year.
I remember that.
Yep.
He's the designer, right?
Yep.
And he was sitting right there. I remember that. I remember that.
It's funny where interactions will lead you.
Yeah. Yeah. So I always enjoy being on your show, Clea. You kind of bring out you let everybody shine, and that's awesomeness of you and what you do here. And
thank you.
It's an amazing feat that you've done. I mean, I can't wait to get my hands on my book. This has been about 3 months, a couple months now, but being busy in both of our lives. I mean, but yeah, I got to get that book within the next week. So we'll do that.
We'll definitely make that happen. I promise you that. And speaking of books, and I know this book is amazing, and I'm not just tooting my own horn, but trust me, it is amazing. But you spoke of mentors, you spoke of Les Brown, you spoke of Eric Thomas, you spoke of Jim Rohn. But is there a certain book or a person or a situation or story that has influenced you and changed your life for the better? Like your life was going one way, and that person, book, story, or whatever it was that influenced you changed the whole trajectory of your life for a totally different positive outcome? And if so, could you share with us what it was?
So, I have to go back to this again. My grandmother, she pretty much raised us, and bless her heart, she's gone now, and she was always the cornerstone of everything that I did in my life in terms of going to college. We always stayed in touch. And she was a praying woman, and she always inspired me. And she always loved reading Reader's Digest, right? So a lot of times I could be going through some stuff, and doesn't matter where I'm at, whether I was in college or just away from her, she had a story to tell me about some positive story. And you could go to her house, and she had shelves and shelves of Reader's Digest because she just liked to read a lot. And, she was a spiritual woman, and she was the matriarch of the family. So, she was always inspiring us. And that was I've always taken that as my guide, to be inspired by her, because she was my everything in terms of guidance. A lot of time, if I needed to call somebody, she was the first phone call away, and she always would sit there. And even when I was done talking, we would be on the phone for an hour. And elderly people, there's wisdom in older people, and a lot of the stuff that I've taken is from her. So I miss her, and I love her, and she gave a lot of inspiration to me. I mean, where I'm at. So.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that. And you shared a lot. We got to learn about you being the community milkman and giving back. We got to learn about Relax and Ride Carlisle and the birth of that and the stymie of it during the pandemic, and actual rebirth like a phoenix is coming back actually even stronger and full bore. We're looking forward to that. We discussed a bunch of different things, but right now I'm going to turn the floor over to you as through the course of conversation. If there's anything that we may have forgotten, or if there's anything your memory may have been jogged, if there's anything that you would like to share, right now is that opportunity. I'm going to turn it over to you. The floor is yours.
Well, Clea, I just want to say, that I'm grateful for this journey that I've been on as an entrepreneur in a community. I consider myself part of the community as a community activist, leader, whatever you want to call it. But I just feel humbled to be involved in doing something back where sometimes, sometimes people get forgotten. And, I don't want to forget about the communities that I grew up in, the Bronx, New York, where, we had food, but, there were a lot of struggling people there. So I wanted to do something that could inspire people and, just an average person. I mean, I don't want people to look at me as, the business owner, the entrepreneur. I want people to look at me and say, hey, look, he's a human being that cares about people. And I want my legacy to be that, that it's important to earn money, but it's important to recognize the people around you and your community. And I think that those are the important things in life, that there's a lot of people that do need help. And, if you're not doing something, I hope that you could do something for your community, or, you don't have to do a lot. You could just do a little bit, and pretty much that's it. I mean, this will stand by itself. My business will stand by itself, but giving back, it's something that it really builds character, and it really helps you to connect with people. And, it's giving a greater part of yourself away, and that's pretty much it. And I appreciate being on here, and man, it's been an awesome time. I could sit here all night talking to you because, that's just how you are, man. You just bring out the best in people. And I appreciate that. And that's your gift of, gab and helping people to, bring out their greatness. So God bless you, man. I appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate you as well. I appreciate you making yourself available and sharing with us some wonderful information. I appreciate you continually supporting the show, being in the lab now twice now. You're no stranger to the lab, and constantly being able to brainstorm ideas through you and off of you, and as we kind of have our talks together. And I know now that where things are starting to get back out, as we both remain busy, I know we'll still both remain in contact in the future.
Oh, definitely. We need to do lunch sometime.
Yeah. Well, we definitely you got to get your book, so might as well make an event of it.
Okay, why not? Thanks, Clea. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. And stand by here. I got a few more things, but just hold on for me. We're going to take a brief pause for the cause. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, as you've already seen, tuned in, he's backstage right now. I'm going to bring him back out here. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I know it's hot, it's warm outside. People are going to be out and about, and we're starting to get life back to the way things were. But I do these shows because I put on. And I say that to say this, because this honestly, I know we're transitioning from the lab into something else differently. But if you've got a business product or positive message, I still want to get that information out there. We'll find a way to get that information out there. The show show's not going to be the same starting this July. There may be little quirks here and there that are changing, or it may just be a full-on set change and all. So stay tuned in. Be on the lookout for wonderful, good information coming from you from the Coach Clee and Tillman Productions studio. But I want you to forge your own paths. I want you to remain positive. I want you to evolve so hard and keep the comments coming in. If you got a business product or positive message, we're still going to find a way to get that information out there and share that, because it's very important. And Gary, I'm going to bring Gary back on here. Bam, there he is. Gary, I got a special person coming to the lab next week. Do you know who they are?
Who is it?
You got to tune in and see.
I will.
I appreciate it. Believe you. But for donating your time, I do have a special gift for you. I'll make sure when we get together and I give you your book, I give you the gift. I do believe in once you donate your time, you should get compensated for it. And this is my appreciation for doing so. Again, Gary, I wish you much success. I appreciate more so the giving of your time and the giving of your services. You provide a wonderful service, and you probably I know you help out more people than you're even aware of.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. I mean, like I told you, I don't know who the people take that stuff, so it's a blessing. Yep. I enjoy it, man. Good.
I thank you guys for tuning in. We're going to evolve so hard. It's your motivational speaker, your empowerment coach, your author, and your favorite baker's favorite baker, Coach Clee, coming at you. Stay safe. Keep washing your hands. Have a wonderful summer. And we're out of here. Peace. Have a good night.